Okay, so again, scale factor. We are identifying scaled figures by recognizing there's a proportional relationship. Go ahead and take a minute to write the whole example down, with the exception of you in here. I have your copy. I just forgot to put it on your desk. Make sure you're writing the whole thing down, including the words. I said don't write it down. That's why it's important to listen.
Is it L through N? Is it
Wednesday and Thursday, L through Z.
I got you. Which one is that? Turn like that off and get you off with the help me off.
Sorry, what?
I'm trying to write down using which class, which block, which day.
Oh,
Is that trying to remember?
Monday and Tuesdays are a lot more.
Yeah.
This is our small day.
I had it in there.
Okay, so it says Sarah made a scale drawing of a dinosaur. Yes. Thank you. I'm telling you. Jesus. I was wrong when I thought I had finally gotten the hang of this. Okay. So Sarah made a scale drawing of a dinosaur. She made the height of the dinosaur 2 1/2 inches. The actual height of the dinosaur is 9 feet. What scale did Sarah use for her drawing? So we're going to follow sort of the same steps that we did yesterday. Remember, when we have a word problem, we read it twice. So I'm going to read it a second time and underline. Do the same on your paper as well. So Sarah made a scale drawing of a dinosaur. She made the height of the dinosaur 2 1/2 inches. The actual height of the dinosaur is 9 feet. What scale did Sarah use for her drawing? So when we read that question, it's telling us, it's basically asking us, what is your scale? What is your scale factor? So we need to find our scale factor. What is my scale factor? That's what I'm looking for. So what's the first thing we do when we have a problem like this? Other than find our factor, what do? I draw my what? I draw my table or my t-chart. So I'm going to do X and Y. So what I like about this is I can use my answer choices to kind of help me figure out what's going to be my X and what's going to be my Y. So in my answer choices, it tells us 1 inch equals 3.6 feet, or whatever the answer choices are. So I know that my inches is going to be my X. So I'm going to put 2 1/2 inches over here and 9 feet over on my Y side. And I'm sorry, I keep it does. It looks like 3, but it is 1/2. I'm positive. So remember, we talked yesterday about scale factor being the same thing as when we find our unit rate. So how is it that we find our unit rate? By doing what? Y by X. Good. And remember, your unit rate is any number to 1. So we'd be looking at 1 to something. So just like here, we have 1 inch equals. We're going to be looking for this to be 1, just like when we were doing our unit rate. So I can go ahead and take 9 divided by 2 and 1/2. So go ahead and do this in your head, your calculator. Thank you. Sorry, I totally forgot. And he's like staring at me like.
I usually have a couple extra ones here, but I keep forgetting to come in on Mondays and start over some more out there.
Okay, so 9 divided by 2.5 gives me what? 3.6 feet, right? Because that's going to be our feet. So I can go ahead and put 3.6 here. So my scale factor is 3.6. So when I go to look at my answer choices, what scale did Sarah use for her drawing? A, 1 inch equals 3.6 feet. You know, the rectangle. Okay, make sure you have this written down, and then I'm going to erase in a second. I'm going to try to remember to stand on this side. Okay, so the next one says, a 10-foot tree makes an 8-foot shadow. So, about how tall is a person who makes a 12-foot shadow at the same time? So this is going to look kind of like, also like the problems that we did yesterday. So let's start it and see how far we can get. So it says a 10-foot tree makes an 8-foot shadow. About, so remember that means we're not looking for the exact number. How tall is a person who makes a 9-foot shadow? Okay, so I need to figure out what? What's the question asking me to find? How tall is the person? Perfect. So think about it like when we did our shapes yesterday. We were looking at our original triangle, and we had to find either the missing side in the new triangle or in the same original triangle, right? But before we could find that missing side, we had to find what first? Remember that magic phrase? Scale factor. You have to find your scale factor first. And then once I find my scale factor, I can find my missing side or person, however you want to put it. Missing information. So just like we just did, you have to kind of stand back, look at the problem. What do I need to find first? So I'm going to go ahead and draw out my T-chart. So my original is going to be my X, and my Y is going to be the shadow. So how tall is my tree? 10 feet. And what's the tree's shadow? Is what? 18. How tall is my person? Oh, we don't know. I tricked you. And how tall is that person's shadow? It is 12 feet. So now I know what I'm looking for, where it's gonna go, how I'm gonna work it out. Do I? Do I really? Okay, so I'm gonna find my scale factor. How do I find my scale factor? Dividing, R equals, yes, I like it. We are taking y divided by x, which is what? Perfect. 18 divided by 10.
0.8.
Say it again. Okay, hold on. If I'm doing 18 divided by 10, it should be a whole number point something.
1.8.
1.8. Thank you. So my scale factor is 1.8. Now I get to find my missing information. Can someone tell me how I find my missing information? Why did you say divide?
No.
You're not wrong. Because you're doing what? Yes. From right to left, we divide. Good. Very good. So I'm taking 12 divided by 1.8. So remember, you got to stop. Think. Don't blurt the first thing that comes to your mind out. That's why we have you guys write these things down so you don't forget. I'm curious. I want to know how tall my person is. Is my person a midget? Is my person a giant? Because like 15 feet versus 4 feet is like little person, or like really big person. So how tall is my person?
6.7.
I mean, that's still pretty tall. So my person is 6.7 feet. So it's B. Because I'm 5'7" and I need my 6.7. Okay, so make sure you have this down. We're going to look at one more. I may or may not start you off. I don't know. It depends on what the problem looks like. I know. Just crazy. That's too small. Okay. It says Timothy has a drawing of the family room of the house that he's building. The drawing shows the family room to be a rectangle 4 centimeters wide by 6 centimeters long. The length of the actual family room is 9 meters. What is the actual area of the family room? Oh, there's so many things to find here. Okay, so let's start us out. So Timothy has a drawing of the family room of a house that he's building. There's important stuff, but not something that I need to underline. The drawing shows that the family room to be a rectangle 4 centimeters wide by 6 centimeters long. The length of the actual family room is 9 meters. What is the actual area of the family room? So before we even start our T-chart, I want us to figure out what I need to solve for. So the first thing I need to find is what?
The actual
The scale factor. Because I can't figure anything else out without my scale factor. The second thing I need to figure out is what? Is what? The missing information. What is my missing information to be exact? Okay, so not the actual area yet. What do we think? I know that the actual family room is 9 feet, not 9 meters long. Do I know how wide it is? No, I don't. So I need to find the width. And then once I can figure that out, then I find the actual area. Right. So we are going to draw our T-chart, and then I'm going to leave you to your own devices. So we have our X and our Y. We're going to be a little bit more specific with it this time, just so that when you finish, you know which one you're looking at. So I have the drawing, right? The drawing is going to be my X, and the actual is going to be my Y. So I have 4 and 6. Do I know the width of my actual room? No, I don't. Do I know the length? Yes. Okay, so find your scale factor and find your actual length. And stop there because we'll take a look.